If you are listening to this while doing something else, folding laundry, sitting in the car, or lying down because your body asked you to stop, that is completely fine. You do not need to give this your full attention. You do not need to hold on to every word. You can simply let it move through the room with you. A lot of people find their way here after the obvious danger has passed. The mold is gone. The move has happened. The remediation is behind them. From the outside, life looks normal again. And yet internally, something still feels unsettled. Not dramatic, not urgent, just unresolved. This phase can feel confusing because there is no clear crisis to point to anymore. Friends may assume you are better. Doctors may have moved on. Even you may feel like you should be further along than you are. If that sounds familiar, I want to begin by saying you are not imagining it, and you are not failing. Before I continue, I want to share something calmly and clearly. What you are seeing is an AI-based version of me. That is an intentional choice. Every script you hear is personally written by me, from my own lived experience. These are my words, my reflections, and my perspective. The AI is simply how those words are presented, nothing more than that. There was a season in my recovery where nothing was technically wrong, but nothing felt right either. We were out of the mold environment. My daughters were stabilizing. One born in 2016, one born in 2021. Our days were quieter, safer, predictable. From the outside, it looked like relief, but internally, my body felt suspended. I remember waking up one morning and noticing that the sharp fear was gone, but so was the sense of direction. I was not panicking. I was not crashing. I was just existing in a kind of muted space that I did not know how to name yet. At the time, I believed this meant I was stuck. I believed that if recovery was working, I should feel noticeably better. I thought progress would feel like momentum, energy returning, motivation reappearing, a clear sense of before and after. What I did not understand was that my nervous system had been living in survival mode for so long that neutrality itself felt unfamiliar. I had spent months scanning for danger, listening for symptoms, managing uncertainty. When that constant vigilance was no longer necessary, my system did not celebrate. It hesitated. It slowed down. It needed time to learn that nothing bad was about to happen next. Looking back, I can see patterns that were invisible at the time. When I tried to force myself into feeling normal, my body resisted. When I mentally rehearsed how long recovery was taking, my symptoms intensified. When I gave myself permission to be exactly where I was, without narrating it, my system softened, even if only slightly. Recovery did not unfold in a straight line. It moved in waves. There were days where I felt almost like myself, followed by days where everything felt heavy again for no obvious reason. I used to interpret those days as setbacks. Now I understand they were part of recalibration. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of mold recovery. The phase where the body is no longer under direct threat, but has not yet relearned safety. There is often no clear guidance for this space, no checklist, no reassurance that this quiet, in-between state is normal. For parents, this phase can carry an extra layer of weight. I carried quiet guilt for a long time, not loud or dramatic guilt, just a constant low-level question running in the background. Did I miss something sooner? Did my body fail my children? Could I have protected them better? Those thoughts did not show up as panic. They showed up as tension, fatigue, and a sense of emotional flatness. What I wish I had known then is that guilt can live in the nervous system even when the mind has already forgiven itself. It takes time for the body to catch up to what the intellect understands. That delay does not mean you are stuck. It means your system is integrating. Over time, I noticed that healing happened when there was less pressure, when days were allowed to be ordinary, when I stopped measuring myself against imagined timelines. The the moments that felt like nothing was happening were often the moments my system was actually learning to rest without bracing. If you recognize yourself in this, I want to offer you something gently. You do not need to be productive in your healing. You do not need to prove that you are getting better. And you do not need to rush toward some version of yourself that existed before all of this. Healing after mold exposure is not about returning to who you were. It is about allowing your body and nervous system to build a new baseline that includes safety, not just survival. As we come toward the end of this reflection, I want to leave you with this. You are not broken because recovery feels slow. You are not behind because things look fine on the outside. And you are not doing something wrong because your body needs more time than you expected. Healing is not linear. It is layered. It unfolds quietly, often without milestones or announcements. And sometimes the most important phase is the one where nothing dramatic is happening at all. If you want to read more lived reflections like this, written slowly and without urgency, I share them at indoorarinsights.com. It is simply a place where I put language to experiences that once felt isolating and hard to explain. For now, you do not need to resolve anything. You do not need clarity tonight. You are allowed to rest exactly where you are, knowing that your body is still working, even in the quiet.